Hey rock stars, this episode of Bitchin' Kitchen is all about being broke. Look, we all make some bad financial choices at one time or another, so maybe investing in, anything wasn't the smartest retirement plan. Or maybe mom was right when she said, you idiot, acting is a hobby. So today we're gonna roll up our sleeves and make a meal that tastes as good as it is cheap. First up on the menu, a zesty spaghetti alla puttanesca. Secondo piatto, a melt-in-your-mouth beef and sweet roasted root veggie stew. And for dessert, delicate whipped ricotta crepes drizzled with that tangy and spicy chili raspberry coulis. Panos is gonna teach us how to beat the broke-ass blues.
That's right, Nads. We're gonna punch depression right in the liver. Bang!
The spice agent is gonna give us the goods on de-germing garlic.
Nadia, the germ is the root of all evils.
Hans is gonna talk about root vegetables.
Root vegetables?
And then we're gonna top it all off with an interpretive dance about poverty and social injustice. Yeah, okay. I'm Nadia G, and this is Bitchin' Kitchen. Being broke, it ain't easy. But as much as it sucks, it's an important stage in life. It allows you to appreciate the little things, like the warm smile of a stranger as he stuffs singles into your G-string. It sets you free from consumerism and showering. And at the end of the day, you may owe 10 G's in credit, but you finally have enough points to get that spatula you always dreamed of. Let's get cooking. We're gonna make one of my all-time favorite pasta dishes, spaghetti alla puttanesca, which translates to spaghetti the way a hoe would make it. Let me explain. See, back in the 1950s, Italy was rife with legal brothels. As you can imagine, it was also rife with angry wives, huh? So in order to prevent public squabbles between mistress and missus, the government imposed a once-a-week shopping law for the ladies of the night. Since these poor hustlers were only allowed to go to the market once a week, whatever they bought had to last. So they bought preserves, anchovies, capers, olives, tomato paste, and zacata. Spaghetti alla puttanesca was conceived. Along with a third of the population of Italy at that time, but you didn't hear it from me. First, we're gonna boil some water for our spaghetti. Now, whenever you're seasoning pasta water, you wanna make sure you add enough salt. Otherwise, your pasta's gonna be sapide, aka bland. See, what most people tend to do is under-season the pasta and then overcompensate by adding tons of sauce. But in Italy, sauce is referred to as condimento, which means condiment, which doesn't mean soup. So it's important that the pasta itself is rewarding and the sauce is just the cherry tomato on top. Capisce? We'll throw in our spaghetti. Now, let's pit some Kalamata olives. The easiest way to do this is with an olive pitter. But honestly, who owns a freaking olive pitter? Oh yeah, my olive pitter. Let me get that. Must be in the same drawer as my bagel slicer and sunny disposition. So, grab a sharp paring knife and slice as much meat as you can off the olive. Next, we're gonna prepare our anchovies. Grab about 6 fillets and then roughly mash them up with a fork. Even if you're not the biggest fan of anchovies, give them another shot in this dish. Because we're using such huge flavors, olives, capers, garlic, they're just gonna blend in and add a provocative undertone without being overly fishy. While I keep mashing, here's Panos to tell us more about anchovies. Take it away, bro.
Thanks, Nads. Anchovies are the best, bro. This oily, saltwater fish is not only cheap, but like all oily fish, is packed with omega-3 fatty acids. Good for the brain, good for depression. Because I know what it is to be down low, bro. When I came here from Greece, I had big dreams, bro. I wanted to dance, hoppa, to frolic. But then I realized, no one wants to pay me to dance. I once got paid to frolic, but those days are better left in the past. That's why, when your dreams get crushed, you gotta fight back, bro. Bro, you gotta eat your anchovies. Punch depression right in the liver, tack, in the spleen, tack. Stay down. But not all anchovies are created equal. Oh, no. You wanna buy the ones in extra virgin olive oil. The purity is what makes the difference. So what if it costs $1 more? In life, there are some necessities, no? extra virgin olive oil, and extra hold hair gel. That's all I have to say, bro.
Good point. After a quick break, we're gonna plate this zesty spaghetti alla Puttanesca, and the spice agent is gonna reveal how garlic is the root of all evil. See you on the flip side! Welcome back to Recession Recipes, where we're cooking up a tangy spaghetti alla Puttanesca. Man, pasta's the perfect frugal food. It's filling, delicious, and gives you that extra energy you need to pretend to look for work on Craigslist, huh? Let's face it. This pasta is about 1 minute away from being al dente, which means it's perfect. See, the traditional way of cooking pasta is to undercook it slightly and then finish cooking it in the sauce. This way it absorbs all the flavor. Let's do it. First thing we're gonna do is heat about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in a big pan on medium heat. See, because Puttanesca depends heavily on olive oil, you want to be using the best quality olive oil you could get your hands on. But what exactly is the best quality olive oil that you could get your hands on? Let's dispel a few myths about olive oil.
Myth number 1, the best olive oil is cold pressed.
Cold pressed. Believe it or not, this term means absolutely nothing because there's no international standard for cold. What's cold in Tuscany isn't what's cold in Alaska. And if you speak to any of my exes, they'll give you a whole other definition of cold.
Myth number 2, the best olive oil comes from the first pressing of the olives.
With modern machinery, there is no second pressing of the olives. After the olives have been pressed once and once alone, the goop that's left over is called pumice. And the only way to extract oil from pumice is to add chemical solvents. So to make a long story short, virgin, extra virgin, these are the oils that are extracted from the one and only pressing of the olives. Anything that's not labeled as virgin or extra virgin has been treated with chemicals and therefore a lesser olive oil. Disgraziata. Let's get back to our sauce, yamana. We're gonna add a pinch of hot chili flakes. Then we're gonna throw in 1 minced clove of degermed garlic. On that note, here's our spice agent
יחזקאל מזרחי.
to tell us more about the poor man's flavor saver, garlic.
Oh, the friendly garlic. Everybody loves garlic. But garlic has a dark secret. Bitchin! Nadia, fresh young garlic does not have this. But most garlic is shipped all the way from China. And by the time it reaches your local supermarket, it has begun to germinate, to spawn. And the spawn is the root of all evils. Indigestion, stinky burpee, and Andy Dick's rise to fame. Yeah, maniac. But you can prevent this. Whenever you use garlic, cut them in half. And if you see garlic spawn, abort it right away.
Thanks,
יחזקאל מזרחי.
All right, now after the garlic has been frying for about 2 minutes and it turns a nice fragrant golden brown, we're gonna add our anchovy paste. Now fry it up for about 30 seconds till the anchovy flavor just permeates in the oil. It's gonna be amazing. Now it's time to add our tomatoes. Traditionally, this sauce is made with tomato paste, but today I'm gonna use cherry tomatoes. I know what you're saying to yourself. Manads, this is a recession recipe and cherry tomatoes are freaking expensive. That's why you gotta be furb. See, most grocery stores have amazing specials on produce that's getting ripe. And when it comes to tomatoes and sauce, the riper, the better. So shop around and take advantage of these kind of specials, huh? We'll throw in our tomatoes and saute them for about 5 to 7 minutes, just until they start to create a nice light sauce. Now that they've sauced up beautifully, it's time to add our tangy Kalamata olives. And last but not least, we're gonna throw in a tablespoon of chopped capers. Gorgeous. Final touches. Big pinch of brown sugar, just to bring out the sweetness of the tomato. Small pinch of sea salt. And finally, you guessed it, freshly cracked pepper. Let's finish this dish. Grab a bunch of our gorgeous spaghetti over here. And then turn the heat down to medium-low, and then use a pair of tongs to mix it up. This way every noodle gets coated in our gorgeous tangy sauce. You want to do this for about 3 to 5 minutes. Let's eat! Our sweet cherry tomatoes contrasted with our tangy Kalamata olives and capers. And you get the salty anchovy, man! If only we could afford an ice-cold beer to wash this down with. But you can. Because this dish can feed 4 people for under $10, throw a dinner party. Get your friends to bring the booze. As the old Italian saying goes, give a little, take everything. When we get back, we're gonna cook up a melt-in-your-mouth beef and roasted root veggie stew, so stick around. I think Emeril Lagasse says that, no? Yep. Hello. Welcome back to Recession Recipes. You know, when you're feeling as low as your bank account, always remember that rich people have the same problems you do, only they have the money to solve them. Next up on the menu, a beef and roasted root vegetable stew. Yum enough. Now, chop your veggies until they're pretty much uniform in size. This way they roast evenly. Top it off with 4 crushed cloves of garlic. Drizzle with about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Big pinch of salt. Freshly cracked pepper. We'll pop these into a 375-degree oven for 45 minutes. While these roast, here's Hans to tell us more about root vegetables. Hans?
Miss G, root vegetables are the heart of the plant, the hub of all vitamins and minerals. What you've got there is an army of root vegetables that not only taste great, but are chock full of health benefits. Beets, they contain iron, which makes you strong. Parsnips and carrots, they're chock full of antioxidants, which keeps your engine running clean. Onions, they pump up your immune system, because the stress of being broke, Miss G, can bring you down. Bring you down real low.
Thanks, Hans. Let's talk meat. Here, I've got some beef foreshank, basically the front leg muscle of the beef. So first things first, we'll cut this beef into cubes. Now, we're gonna toss this in flour. This'll thicken our stew. We'll heat a pan on medium and add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Let's sear the beef for a few minutes on all sides. Next, we'll deglaze the pan with half a cup of red wine. Whenever you're cooking with wine, always make sure to use a wine you'd actually drink. Then again, this is a broke-ass episode, so that doesn't say much for the wine, now does it? Just use whatever you're drinking, as long as it's not NyQuil, huh? We'll transfer this beef into a big pot and add 6 cups of organic beef stock. Throw in 3 carrots, 3 ribs of celery, halved, a bunch of fresh parsley, add the bones, 2 bay leaves, and 2 sprigs of thyme. And finally, a couple of peppercorns. And let it simmer for 2 hours. What? I said this recipe was cheap, not quick. Man, when you got no budget, patience is key. You gotta wait for things to go on sale. You gotta wait for the world to discover you're a finger-painting genius. You gotta wait in the clinic to get that knife removed from your ribs. It's all about waiting. But don't worry, your day will come, and when it does, it's gonna feel great! Unless you still have that knife in your ribs. Hey, I'm just saying. Let's check on our roasted veggies, huh? Wow, look at this. All that beautiful color and caramelization. When we get back, we're gonna add these babies to our stew and schkoff. Stay hungry. Ow! Welcome back to Recession Recipes, the Bitchin' Kitchen episode dedicated to deliciously cheap grub. Now I know a thing or two about being broke, my friends. A few years back, I had no job. Every day I'd scour the papers looking for that perfect career opportunity. Network seeks quirky chef to star in series. Every day checking. Every day, nothing. And then one day it dawned on me, man, I have to make my own luck. So I started contacting producers, shipping out pitch documents, dead pigeons, decapitated muffins, you know, Italian style. And look at me now, huh? Look at this.
Bitchin' Kitchen does not condone harassing producers. This story is for comedic purposes only, even if you didn't find it funny.
Back to the stew. Let's fish out the musciolita vegetables, huh? Out go the bones. And finally, we'll fish out the herbs. Now it's time to add our beautiful roasted veggies and half a cup of dried lentils. In 20 minutes, these sweet roasted veggies and lentils are gonna be all over this stew like an art student on a clinical trial. But you must be getting hungry by now, no? So I got a special trick up my sleeve to speed things up. Editing. Let's plate this dish. I'm just gonna add a little bit of fresh minced parsley and a buon appetito to me. Rich, buttery lentils, the savory beef. Look at the color, absolutely gorgeous. Nothing beats comfort food when you're broke, except maybe not being poor. Whatever. Dessert time. When you're strapped for cash, you need a little sweetness to pick you up. That's why we're gonna be whipping up some creamy ricotta crepes topped with dark chocolate shavings and drizzled with a spicy sweet raspberry coulis. Now, ricotta is an unripened cheese that swings both ways. You could use it in savory dishes, and you could also use it in desserts to replace costly mascarpone. When I was a kid, my mother would take some day-old bread, toast it, slather it with some ricotta, and sprinkle some sugar on it. It was one of my favorite treats. Well, that and torturing my next-door neighbor, Steven. Hi, Steven. In a big bowl, add a quarter cup of whipping cream. See, this is a great money-saving tip right here. By using whipping cream instead of pre-whipped cream, you could save a couple of bucks easy. I know what some of you are saying to yourselves, but what's a couple of bucks? Hey, a few dollars here, a few dollars there. Eventually, it all adds up to a pair of heels, no? Sure does. Now, we're gonna throw in the seeds of 1 vanilla bean. If you're really broke, you can always steal one from your mom, huh? And whip it up. All right, now we're gonna fold in about a cup of ricotta, add a nice big pinch of brown sugar, and whip for a few more seconds. On to our crepes. In a food processor, add 2 eggs, half a cup of milk, half a cup of water, 1 cup of flour, and give it a whir for about 10 seconds. Sakata. Add a teaspoon of butter to a pan that's been heating on medium. Then, we're gonna pour in a quarter cup of our crepe batter. But the trick is to swirl the pan while you pour. There we go. Once you got a nice even layer at the bottom of the pan, you cook it for 45 seconds. Now flip it. Woo! Oh, boom! The beautiful thing about crepes is that they keep well. Just stack them up, pop them in a bag, and scaff them in the freezer. Then whenever you feel like getting fancy, thaw them out and you're good to go. You can add the eggs, bacon, mushrooms, poof! The perfect breakfast crepe. Throw in some brie, green apples, salty caramel. Poof! The perfect PMS crepe. Do them up plain with maple syrup. Poof! You get a plain crepe with maple syrup. Now what do you want from me? Our crepes are done. Our filling is ready. Now the only thing that's left is our chili raspberry coulis. Berries are expensive, but frozen berries, not so much. And since we're making a coulis, we don't need fresh berries. These juicy thawed berries are just perfect for our sauce. We'll throw them in a food processor. Now we'll cut up this chili pepper and throw in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now we'll puree. Grab a crepe, add a couple of tablespoons of our whipped ricotta, and roll it up. Beautiful. Now we'll drizzle it with some of our spicy chili raspberry coulis and add some dark chocolate shavings, huh? Our delicate buttery crepe stuffed full of our vanilla-infused ricotta, and man, that tangy coulis full of raspberry spicy goodness. This dessert is a real winner and super cheap to boot. Woo! Look at this. Oh! What are we doing now? And there you have it. 3 scrumptious dishes that won't break the bank. And if this food isn't enough to lift your spirits, chin up, baby. Remember, broke people matter. If it weren't for the penniless, we wouldn't have punk rock, reality TV, or anyone to test new meds on. Sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom to get to the top. And that extra arm growing out of your ass, ho ho, it'll help you with the climb. Alla prossima!